Diana, I'm calling this segment the debt-loving senior, and I'm doing that because some numbers that you produced in a report recently show that seniors are the biggest group in terms of debt growth in the country right now. Can you explain exactly what's going on in the 65-plus demographic?
Those who are 65 and plus actually increased their debt by 15% in 2012, while we've seen other age groups either cut back on debt loads or decelerate their debt accumulation. And it's not just a 2012 story. We've seen the sharpest rise in indebtedness among those 65 and plus since the early part of this decade.
If we were to go back to previous decades, where would seniors sort of fit into the debt tapestry, if you will? Were they the biggest borrowers or the smallest borrowers? How did they compare to younger demographics?
In terms of level form, they have the lowest level of debt, and in terms of the household debt to income ratio, their debt to income ratio is about half of that of the more indebted age groups, so those 25 to 44. And typically their debt should be growing at a much slower pace than other age groups because their incomes are also growing less
There's
slowly.
the old cliche about the senior on the fixed income, but their debt growth is not far from fixed. Do you have any sense from your research about why this growth is happening in the senior demographic?
Well, there are two reasons you borrow. You borrow either for consumption purposes or to invest in something like a house. And we're not seeing them investing. What we're seeing is that it's typically being used for consumption purposes, whether it's out of want or for need.
That's very interesting. So it does suggest that maybe retirement savings haven't been adequate and they're needing debt to supplement their day-to-day living costs.
Well, we have seen many reports over the past year that suggest that seniors are actually not finding themselves able to supplement or adequately supplement their income in retirement, so this may be out of a need for sure.
Okay, that's a lesson to save for retirement, I guess.
Well, it's interesting, I guess, because the age groups 45 to 64 have been cutting on their debt, so it's sort of this idea that maybe people in retirement, their debts are continuing to grow uncontrollably, but people in that age group are heeding those warnings that they need to save and to retirement less indebted.
Okay, thanks, Diana.